Hello everybody, hello my dear students for grade 1st, 2nd. Welcome back to school. I am Mr. Ahmed Asim and I will teach the curriculum for biology for this year. Our curriculum for the first term includes 2 units. The first unit contains 3 chapters which talk about biochemistry, talk about something called organic molecules, something called proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and we'll talk about these items in the following sessions. The second unit talks about the cell, and also it includes 3 chapters. Also, each chapter contains some items or some topics. Talk about the cell, the structure of cell, the internal structure of cell, the function of each part of the cell, and the types of tissues. Today, inshallah, we will start with the first session that talks about the first unit, chapter 1. So let's start. Our chapter today, its title is Chemical Structure of Organisms' Bodies. We want to know what is the chemical structure of the bodies. As we know, the body of any living organism consists of organs, each system consists of organs, each organ consists of tissues, and each tissue consists of a group of cells. Inside each cell, group of organelles, small organs inside the cell. We want to know now what are the components inside the cell. What are the chemical compounds that are found inside the cell. Inside the cell, we have 2 types of molecules or 2 types of compounds. One type is called organic molecules, and another type is called inorganic molecules. Organic molecules means that the compound consists of carbon, mainly carbon, present in its structure. But inorganic means that the compound is with no carbon. What are the examples for the inorganic molecule? The inorganic molecules like water and mineral salts. We will not talk about them in our curriculum, but we'll talk about another compound that's called organic molecule. So we want to know what the meaning of organic molecule. As we said, the bodies of living organisms consist of systems. Each system consists of organs. Each organ consists of tissues. Each tissue consists of cells. And there are group of organelles inside the cell. And the cell contains 2 types of molecules, organic molecules and inorganic molecules. Now, we'll talk about the meaning of organic molecules. Organic molecules, we can call them with another name. Organic molecules can be called biological macromolecules or polymers. What is the reason for this name? Organic molecules are called biological macromolecules because their molecules are large in size. Macro means large. So when we say biological macromolecules, this means that the molecules are large in size. Okay, what is the reason for the second name, polymers? What the meaning of polymers? The biological macromolecules or the organic compounds are called polymers because they are formed of small units. These small units are called monomers. The small units that are called monomers are joined together through a process called polymerization to form a large molecule. This molecule is called polymer. Like this, if we have small units, these small units are called monomers. When they connect together by the process that's called polymerization, they produce a large molecule. This large molecule is called polymer, or biological macromolecule, or organic molecule. So we have three names for the organic molecule. Organic molecules, biological macromolecules because they are large in size, polymers because they are formed of small units called monomers. So if we identify the organic molecules, we can say that they consist of carbon, mainly carbon with hydrogen. They are large in size, so they are called biological macromolecules. They consist of small units called monomers, so they are called polymers. Okay, what are the examples for the organic molecules which are found inside our bodies? Like what? We have many examples for organic molecules that are found inside the body, like carbohydrates, lipids, protein, and nucleic acid. These examples, we will talk about them in this chapter and in the next chapter. So the examples of organic are carbohydrates, lipids, protein, and nucleic acid. Of course, we said the examples for the organic molecules that are without carbon, and examples of them are water and minerals. Now we will start with the first example for the organic molecules, which is carbohydrates. What's the meaning of carbohydrates? Carbohydrates like sugar, like starch. These compounds are called carbohydrates. Okay, what is the structure? What is the chemical structure of the carbohydrate? The sugar, of any other examples for the carbohydrates. What is the structure? What is the chemical structure? Carbohydrates are example for the organic molecules. So they must contain what? They must contain carbon. If we see the structure of carbohydrates, we can observe that they consist of three elements: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But what is the ratio for these elements? The carbon, if the carbon is 1, the hydrogen will be 2, and oxygen will be 1. For example, if we see the structure of glucose, it's the simplest type of sugar, simplest type of carbohydrates. Glucose is carbon atom 6. So hydrogen will be what? The ratio is 2. That means that the number of atoms of hydrogen is the double of carbon. So it will be 12. And oxygen is 1. Ratio of oxygen is 1. That means that the number of oxygen atom is the same number like carbon. So the oxygen will be 6. If we see another example, for example, C3, that means the hydrogen will be what? The double of carbon, 6. And O will be 3. So we can conclude a chemical formula for all carbohydrates. What is the chemical formula of carbohydrates? We can say that CH2O between two brackets N mean any number. If the carbon is 1, so hydrogen will be 2 and oxygen will be 1. If carbon is 2, hydrogen will be 4 and oxygen will be 2. Carbon is 3, so hydrogen will be 6 and oxygen will be 3, and so on. Okay, so the chemical formula of carbohydrates is CH2O between two brackets N with the ratio 1 to 2 to 1. Now we want to know, or we talk about the importance of carbohydrates. What are the importances for the carbohydrates for our bodies? At first, carbohydrates are considered as the main and rapid source for energy. If we do any work and we feel that we are tired or we need more energy, we quickly swallow any sweaty substance. Why? Sweaty substance means carbohydrates. Why? Because it's a rapid source of energy. It's digested and burned quickly to release the energy. So the first importance of carbohydrates that it's very quickly and rapid source of energy. Another importance of carbohydrates is that carbohydrates are considered as the storage of energy inside the body. We can store energy inside the body in the form of carbohydrates, like what happened in a substance called glycogen. Glycogen is a substance. This substance is considered as an example for the carbohydrates, and it's found inside the liver of our body. This substance is the storage of energy. It's considered as a stored carbohydrate. Till we need energy, we release it to our body, like we studied in the previous year in the lesson of hormones. So glycogen is a storage for carbohydrates. Also in plant has a substance called starch, like which is found in potato, sweet potato, rice. This substance, starch, is a storage for carbohydrates. Why? To be used as a source of energy if there is no food. So the first importance of carbohydrates is to produce energy. The second importance is to store energy in the form of what? In the form of starch, like in plant, glycogen, like in our bodies. The third importance for carbohydrates is to help in building the body. The body of plants contains some of the carbohydrates in its structure of cells. Like what? Like cellulose. You know that the plant cell has a cell wall surrounds the cell. This cell wall is made mainly of a substance called cellulose. This substance is an example of carbohydrates. Also we have the plasma membrane. What is the plasma membrane? The plasma membrane, if we see the plant cell, we have the outer surface. This is called cell wall. And inside it there is another membrane. This membrane is called the plasma membrane. Cell wall is made of cellulose, which is from the other carbohydrates. Plasma membrane, there is a type of carbohydrate that enters in the structure or enters in the composition of the plasma membrane. So we have three importance for the carbohydrates: producing energy, storing energy, and enters in the composition of some cells like the cell wall and plasma membrane. That's end for today. In the next session, inshallah, we will continue this chapter and we will continue talking about the carbohydrates and its types. Thank you, see you later, and goodbye.